All right, so today we're diving deep into a story you might not know but really should.
Oh, definitely story for the history books.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's about this, well, pivotal figure in early Islam. His name was Bilal ibn Rabah.
Huge impact.
Yeah, and we're going to be looking at a lecture. It's called Bilal ibn Rabah Qira, The Voice of Certainty the Firsts.
Catchy title.
It is, yeah, and it's by Dr. Omar Suleiman.
I've heard of him.
Oh, yeah, he's like a well-known Islamic scholar, leads this institute called the Yaqeen Institute. They do a lot of great work making Islamic knowledge, more accessible.
Right, and I think the story really embodies that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
even just the fact that we're talking about Bilal, like, his story is so powerful. He starts as an enslaved person, in Mecca.
And becomes the first muezzin.
Exactly, the first muezzin, the one who calls Muslims to prayer. Like, can you imagine?
Especially back then,
Yeah, it's mind-blowing.
it's a huge statement.
Right. And what's cool is like right from the start of Dr. Suleiman's lecture, he like transports you. He uses traditional Islamic greetings in Arabic. I mean, it's like you're right there.
Immersed in the culture.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah.
And one of the first things Dr. Suleiman does is he emphasizes that Bilal was African.
Right, he was born in Mecca, but his mother was Ethiopian.
Yeah, and back then that was like a really big deal. It challenged like all the societal norms.
Absolutely, and it shows how inclusive early Islam was.
So important, right? Like in a world obsessed with status, Islam was saying, no, your worth comes from something way deeper. But, Dr. Suleiman doesn't shy away from the hard parts either.
No, he doesn't.
He talks about how Bilal converts to Islam and his slave master, unleashes this brutal persecution.
Makes you think about the courage it takes to hold on to your beliefs.
I know, right? Like in the face of that kind of cruelty.
It's unbelievable. But then this amazing thing happens. Abu Bakr, super close to the Prophet Muhammad, later becomes the first caliph. Well, he steps in.
And he does the unthinkable.
Yeah, he buys Bilal's freedom.
Like, wow. And think about it. This wasn't just like some random act of kindness.
Oh, no, it was a statement.
Right. In a society so fixated on hierarchy, Abu Bakr was like, no, in Islam, your true worth, it has nothing to do with your social status.
Powerful stuff.
It really is. Like, just wow. And so here's Bilal. He's endured unimaginable hardship for his faith.
And they choose him to be the first muezzin.
The first, can you imagine, like, the weight of that moment?
He's the one calling Muslims to prayer. His voice echoing through history.
It gives me chills. And, the call to prayer, the adhan, it starts with this incredibly powerful declaration of faith. La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah.
Which means there is no God but God, and Muhammad is the messenger of God.
Simple yet profound.
Words that have resonated with millions for centuries.
And you know what else Dr. Suleiman mentions?
What's that?
Bilal. He kept calling the adhan, even after the Prophet Muhammad died.
Really? Even after...
Yeah, which I think just shows you like the depth of his faith, his commitment.
Wow, that's powerful. And it makes you think, like, how does Bilal's story speak to us today? I mean, his struggle for freedom, for his beliefs, against injustice, those are things we still grapple with.
Exactly. It's like his story isn't just history. It's a reflection of our own struggles. Like where do we hear echoes of Bilal's call for justice in our own lives?
That's the question, isn't it?
It is. It really is. So as we wrap up our deep dive into Bilal ibn Rabah, what stays with me is this powerful image of resilience, of faith, of the relentless pursuit of justice. Like even in the face of unimaginable hardship, there's hope, there's strength, and there's always the possibility of change. And that's something worth remembering, right? Keep exploring, keep questioning, and as always, keep learning.
Couldn't have said it better myself.